For this video, you had to do this compositional function worksheet, but you only had to do the evens, and you had to do it on separate paper, because God knows there's another time where I'm going to assign you the odds. So only the evens, and it has to be on separate paper if you want to get credit. Please do not turn this worksheet into me, or else you are not going to get credit. So, evens. Number 2, they give us F, they give us G. We want to find G of F of 1. So F of 1 is what I'm going to put into G. So I should probably figure out what F of 1 is. So that means F of 1 means I'm taking 1 and I'm plugging it into F. That's going to be 5 times 1 squared minus 1, which is going to be 5 minus 1, which equals 4. So really, I'm doing G of 4. And when I plug G of 4 in, that means I'm going to do 3 times 4 minus 1, which is 12 minus 1. The final answer is 11. Okay? Number 4, they give us F, they give us G. We want to find F of G of negative 2. So the first thing I got to figure out is what is G of negative 2. And then that's what I'm going to plug into F. So G of negative 2 is 2 times negative 2 plus 3. That is going to give me negative 4 plus 3, which is negative 1. So I'm really going to do F of negative 1. F of negative 1, when you plug it in, is going to give you 5. So your final answer is 5. For number 6, they use the circle notation, but you still move from the inside out. So don't say hog. At H of G of 2, this is the same as if I had written it like this. So first we need to figure out G of 2, and then we're going to plug that into H. G of 2 means you're plugging 2 into G. That's going to give you 7. And H of 7 is going to give you 13. So 13 is your final answer. For number 8, they use the circle notation for this one. All right, F of G of negative 8 looks like the word fog. This is the same thing as F of G of negative 8. So the first thing I need to do is figure out G of negative 8. It's okay that there's a negative because I'm taking the cube root that has an odd index. So G of negative 8, remember you pull out the negative, and then I want to know the cube root of 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. So G of negative 8 is negative 2. So negative 2 is what I'm going to be plugging into F. When I do F of negative 2, that's going to give me negative 10 minus 2, which is negative 12. So negative 12 is your final answer. Okay? Please make sure your work makes sense. Make sure it goes in a nice order. I'm in a very cramped location, so make sure you're showing all of your work, guys. Do as I say, not as I do, I guess. Whoops. Number 10 does not have the circle notation, so straight up we know that we need to do G of 3 first, because that's what we're going to put into F. G of 3 means we're plugging 3 in here. We get 3 squared, which is 9. So I'm going to take this 9, and that's what I'm going to put into F. So F of 9 is 9 minus 2, which is 7. So 7 is your final answer. Number 12, can I scroll down a little? There we go. This does use the circle notation, but it's the same thing as F of G of 0. So G of 0 is what I need to figure out, because that's what I'm putting into F. G of 0 is going to give me 0 plus 1, which is 1. So I'm really doing F of 1. F of 1 is going to give me 2 over the square root of 5 minus 1, because 1 squared is 1. So this is 2 over the square root of 4, which gives me 2 over 2, which is 1. Going up. Number 14, whoops, pull that over here, has the circle notation, but again, inside out, this is the same thing as f of g of 36. So I need to figure out g of 36 and put that in the f. Well, g of 36 is the square root of 36, which is 6. So 6 is what I'm going to put in the f. And when I do that, 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. So your final answer is 7. 15, we're going to do f of g of 2. G of 2 means I'm going to do 2 minus 2 is 0. So g of 2 gave me 0. So that means I'm going to do f of 0. 0 squared is 0 plus 3 is 3. So we find, oops, you didn't have to do 15. Well, now you know. 16, g of f of 2. So first I got to plug in the f and figure out f of 2. Well, f of 2 is going to give me 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1, which is 5. So I'm really putting 5 into g. So g of 5 is going to give me 5 squared, which is 25. So 25 is the final answer for 16. Skip 17 because you're doing the evens. Oops. Circle notation, this is going to be f of g of negative 6. So let's figure out g of negative 6 first. G of negative 6, negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. So negative 2 is what I'm going to plug in for f. So f of negative 2, now be careful, negative 2 cubed is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 1 is 7. Negative 7, my bad. And then last but not least, number 20. G of f of negative 3. So first thing I got to figure out is f of negative 3. Now, be careful. Negative 3 is my x, so it's negative 3 squared minus 6. Okay? Negative 3 squared is a positive 9, which is 3. Okay? If your x that you're inputting is negative, so that means you're subbing in this whole negative 3 for x. So that means the 3 gets the square and the negative gets the square. It will be different if it was written like this as your function. Because if you inputted there, this negative is on the outside, and then you've got negative 3 squared. So this would actually give you negative 9, because this negative is going to have to drop down. Okay? Just a little bit of review. Anyways, you end up getting 3 when you do f of negative 3. And 3 is what you're going to put into g. So then we're going to do g of 3. And that's 2 to the third power minus 1. 2 to the third power is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So your final answer is 7. And that is it.